Welcome to the Ice Report, and I'm your host, Annika Johnson. This podcast will cover all aspects of hockey, including the NHL and other leagues. Today will be an in-season review of the London Knights from the OHL. The OHL is the Ontario Hockey League, which is in the Canadian Hockey League, and London Knights is based in London, Ontario. So far this season, they're going 45-8-2 with 92 points, and then the first team this year to clinch a playoff spot, which is the second fastest time in franchise history. Some breaking news: on February 9th, Cam Allen, a Washington Capitals 2023 fifth-round draft selection and a current defenseman with the OHL team London Knights, have been arrested with several charges with drunk driving-related offenses and fled the scene the day of. He has a court case on March 6th, and so far he has been suspended from OHL in general, and he had 42 points in 45 games and just got traded to the Knights from the Gulf Storm, and he had a 3-year contract with the Washington Capitals. Last year, the London Knights did win the J. Ross Robinson Cup, and they moved on to Memorial Cup versus the Signal Spirits, but a lot of people disagree with how the OHL had their playoff system, since the Spirits did lose in the J. Ross Robinson Cup, but the only reason they went back to the Memorial Cup is because they were the hosting team, and a lot of people disagreed with how they did this because a lot of people thought it was very unfair that even though they lost the London Knights, they were able to come back and then beat the London Knights after London Knights had non-stop games and they had such a long rest. So there was a lot of controversy with all of that, and currently they're on a pace to win 56 games, and that's the second highest number in franchise history that games have won, which is a lot of franchise records being beaten this year. And you can tell because they have such a great roster that the league has seen in a while compared to last year, even though they didn't have the same power play percentages or penalty kill percentages, while this year's is 28.5% and last year was 32.6%. So there is a drastic change in that because a lot of the players are still on the same team, but it's still been known that their penalty kill is phenomenal. They have a amazing generation behind them currently, which is known. They have people in the NHL like Mitch Marner, Patrick Kane, Matthew Tkachuk, and they're very high-class drafting people. So there are people like Denver Barkey, Easton Cowan, Sam Dickinson, who were all drafted really high in the draft selections. And it just shows a lot that the London Knights are able to generate such a powerful NHL future generations. Denver Barkey was drafted to the Flyers, and he is now the 53rd franchise captain. He was selected this past offseason, and he has so far have around 16 goals with 58 points, and he signed with the Flyers last season, but he's really stepping up with leadership as being a captain, and he really wants to prove himself to be able to play in the NHL. Just broke a franchise record with most shorthanded goals, and it just shows a lot that he's come so far, being able to not just be a captain but just be a great player. There are 4 assistant captains on the team: Easton Cowan with the Toronto Maple Leafs, there's Lyndon Sim with St. Louis Blues, Jacob Julian with Winnipeg Jets, and Oliver Bonk, who's also with the Flyers. Easton Cowan is an insane player. He last year had the best OHL player in the league and got MVP. He was signed with the Leafs, but he held a record point last year of 46 straight regular season games. He had 1 point each game, and that's just like crazy to think that, like, there's no words to describe how insane of a player and how talented he is, and that he has so much to come when he goes to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And him with Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews will be such a power core on the team. Sam Dickinson is a defensive player who's currently the debatable best player on the team. He is a top defense who's played 34 games and has 58 points as well. He has exceptional skating ability because he's a very tall and hefty guy, and he's just growing on his offensive attributions as well, and still developing all those great senses that everyone knows he can come to. As well as Landon Sim, he knows how to fight, and he currently leads the CHL first goals scored, which is 10 goals, which personally, I think it's hard to come to because, as you see, the Devils never usually score first, but knowing that he has so many is going to make a great impact in the NHL. Besides having an amazing roster, the reason that they have such a great roster is because of the coaching staff, Mark and Dale Hunter. So they are brothers. Dale is the president, owner, and I believe so, head coach. But Mark and Dale have experience playing and coaching in the OHL, and they definitely have a track record, as you can tell with past generations, current generations, and future generations, that they know how to make a great player and that they can easily train a person who has potential to becoming that person that had that potential. And they're both known for being able to pick out the right players and developing players in the OHL draft, and it just shows that they're able to become and make such a talented team. There is amazing chemistry on the ice when you see them play, that they're able to pass to each other fluently and just be an overall great chemistry defensively, offensively, and they all say it comes from off the ice hangouts and team bonding, and they don't it's just, you don't see that. It's hard for people on hockey teams to create such strong chemistry because of their playing styles. So when new players get traded to a team, it's very hard to adjust, but you can just tell from off ice experiences of the team that they are so bonding and have such a great brotherhood. One of the starting goalies, Austin Elliott, is committing to UMass Lowell. That put some questions in fans' heads with him leaving and going to college, because what if they don't get the right goalie, which people don't doubt that they will, but it's just, are they going to be performing as well as they do without the goalie? Because goalies are a big part of the team, and people don't realize that they are. Also, watching the games, you can tell this is a very, very physical game that the London Knights like to play. Like, everyone on the team is almost over 5'10", or 5'10" or higher, and that's what you like to see in a team, because it's very physical. Games are good to play because then, even if you don't have players that score a lot, if you have them be able to be physical, it helps your other teammates, which you see a lot in the NHL. Fighting is also very important in hockey because it brings out the passionate things in hockey, which a lot of fans could agree to disagree in. But people like Landon Sim, he fought Cameron Mercer from the Kitchener Rangers, and Sim was able to throw over 20 fists in the fight, while Mercer was only able to throw 2. And I just feel like that shows a lot of characteristics to the team, because they're not scared to throw a punch, which a lot of players are, and it just shows courage. And personally, I like watching fights in hockey games, and it just shows the passionate and fans and players, and because of that, it gets the team riled up and being able to get the energy they need that they may not have before to play the game even better. The London Knights are a well-rounded team with a strong core of roster with young talent, experience, and comes from a winning culture from the past season and this upcoming ending of the season going into playoffs. And they have a deep roster with skilled players, great goaltending, and strong coaching presence. And this is another team who people are waiting to see win the Memorial Cup soon. Thank you for watching the Ice Report with me, and check out the Wessex Wire for more content, and Annika Devils on Twitter to find out more NHL inside information.